Hi and welcome in this photography beginner tutorial. Today we talk about the white balance, what it is, why it's useful and how you can use it as well.
My name is Benjamin Jaworskyj, photographer and adventurer. 10 years ago, I started to teach myself photography. Today, I travel the world as a professional photographer and filmmaker. Learn from my experiences, mistakes and tips and join me on my photography adventures.
The last couple of weeks we talked about shutter speed, about ISO, about aperture, about how to put everything together. And today we talk about the color. And in most of the situations, when you get a sick color out of your photos, it's the white balance. So the white balance sets the white point in the camera and tells the camera you need to go more in this or more in that direction. And in most of the times it's from yellow to blue. In some situations it's also from magenta, let's say pink, to a greenish color. So whenever you have a blue cast or a yellow cast in your images, it's the white balance. And I will show and demonstrate it to you in this video as well. So how to set the white balance in your camera. So I'm in manual mode, but you can set the white balance as well in the automatic mode, let's say in P or something. And I then hit the FN button, or when you're on a Canon, the Q button. And then in my case here, it's AWB, which means automatic white balance or auto white balance. And the auto white balance in most of the times, let's say in 90% of the times, is the right setting. So you can photograph like almost everything with the auto white balance, and it makes quite a good job in modern cameras. But whenever you need to fix the white balance, or you have the feeling that the white balance is not right, let's say you photograph a portrait of your girlfriend and she looks blue in the face. The face color looks blue, or some kind of magenta in her face, some pinkish color, and she looks sick and ill and cold, and it's a warm sunny day. Then it's the white balance, and you want to fix that because she might get angry at you. So I show you how to fix it. Right now, and I demonstrate you right now what the different white balances do actually. Right now, we're filming here on sunlight, daylight white balance, because we have here daylight lights that shine on me right now that I can talk here. But when we change the settings now on the camera, you will see how different I look and how different I appear. So let's change it. So right now, for example, we switched from daylight to shadow, and shadow most of the times is more yellow. So when you shoot at, let's say, sunlight outside and you choose shadow, the image gets a bit more yellow. That can look nice for portraits, for example, or for landscapes sometimes as well. In autumn or so, it looks better in shadow, but sometimes it's too yellow. Right now we are on cloudy, and as you can see it looks not that much yellowish but not that much blue like in daylight, so it's kind of a mix. The next mode is, and I have to read it, the incandescent, whatever that means. I say the light bulb and that makes the whole image totally blue. So when you shoot at daylight, what we have right now, so when you shoot at white balance of a light bulb outside at pure daylight with sun or something, everything will look blue. You can get some mystic effects with that, so it looks more dramatic or like in a horror movie, or even you can make a day to night effect just with the white balance, but in most of the times it looks not that cool. But when you shoot outside at night, for example, and all the nice lights are on from the street lights, you need that white balance because otherwise everything will look very yellow. So it's depending on the color temperature of the different lights that shine. In some cameras you can find other white balance settings as well, but most of the times you don't need them. And what I would recommend you is not to mix different light sources. And what I mean with that is when the sun, for example, shines from outside with daylight and you have not a daylight but light bulb from inside, and light bulb is the yellowish light you got from light bulbs you had when they were not forbidden. In Germany, you can't buy them anymore. You have now those other energy-saving lamps, and they have a different white balance as well. Some of them are daylight, some of them are none. And when you have different light sources, let's say one from the left like this and one from the right like this, it looks not cool in the image. So what I would say, always try to shoot just with one white balance and with one light source in one temperature. So you can use different light source, but all should have the same temperature. For example, now the lamps hanging from the ceiling are off because they have a different white balance than the daylight lamps that we have right here. And it would look strange because on the background there would be some yellowish parts, on my head or on my arm there would be yellow parts, and that looks not cool. So always try to shoot just with one white balance. A great thing about white balance is when you shoot in a raw format, I will make a video about RAW and JPEG as well on this channel. When you shoot in a raw format, you can always change the white balance afterwards. So you can choose like auto white balance all day long and then set it afterwards if you need to change anything. But because I do a lot of video stuff as well, and it's much more harder to change it when you do video, when you're not shooting raw in video, I always set my white balance to daylight in most of the times, or when I shoot landscapes on shadow, because I want a more warmer sense in the image. Yeah, that's it with the white balance. Pretty easy to understand, pretty easy to use. So what you can remember, just fix it on auto white balance, daylight or shadow. That's it. And when it's too blue, then change the white balance. So, all right. See you next time. Never forget, sag mal Einstellung, Digga. If you like the video, share it with somebody who starts to photograph, who might be interested in this video as well. And if you have other topics I should talk about, write it in the comment section below. So see you next time. Bye-bye. Oh, and when you want to learn Adobe Lightroom the easy and fun way and start edit your photos, check out my full video course at learnfromben.com.